Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Furu Finance. We have a great stream for you guys. We're going to be talking about what's really going on in the news lately. Yeah, I know. Well, first of all, I mean, the sad thing is it is sort of overshadowing the pump that we've been having, the incredible rally that's been going on in the ecosystem for about the past maybe week or so. I mean, it's been only up and to the right. Hex broke above a penny and is staying there, and obviously Pulse has been doing very well, and pHEX is doing very well. So things are really, really good, and I'd like to talk about that as well. But the big news and the title for the stream is eHEX, because eHEX has been doing very well. And when I say doing very well, relative to its counterparts in the ecosystem, so a lot of people are calling it over for my career, which hasn't been paying well lately. Let me just say, but so that's like the big thing people are talking about. People are very quick to say that I'm wrong, and I've been wrong the entire time. And people are now even going as far as to say is like this is moving towards parity, and maybe I've heard even eHEX could do better than Hex. You know, eHEX might be the number one performer. Like there's that sort of thing. So there's a lot of nuance in terms of people's opinions in the ecosystem, and maybe my opinions changed, maybe it hasn't. We'll be talking about that today, but if you want to go more in depth, we're going to be talking about it at 2:35. I'm going to be on the RH Max channel, and we're going to be talking about that pretty in depth. So it's very exciting. We have a double header today. People were complaining I wasn't streaming enough. Well, today I'm doing 2 streams. So yeah, guys, click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm sure you guys all have or haven't, but decided your mind's already made up. So without further ado, let's just get into the comment section real quick before we get into the charts and see what you guys are saying. Griddle Cakes, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. All the RH coins equal number 3, just below Bitcoin and Ethereum. What in market cap? Ash, what's up? Ash likes the title. Hans Jorgen. That happens. We'll never forget for never. Yeah. What's up, Brizology? Brizology says it might be. Urban Productions. Vitalik is an alien. People say that, yeah. Do your own research. Mr. Chuck, eHexkins and Hexkins will all become friends again by Thanksgiving. The bull market will fix all arguments from the bear market. True. Bob Stutz, what's going on, Bob? Appreciate you. Bob is a patron. What's up, Jeremy Shepard? Hopefully everyone is happy today. Nothing but green candles all week. Let's go, yeah. Antonio Miranda said has some harsh words. If we get close to parity, Furu's credibility will be destroyed. Hope he stops selling courses after such a bad call. Well, does that mean that until now, when it's been 2 and 3 to 1, everyone else's credibility was destroyed? But like, because of this current moment in time, this current window, my credibility is destroyed forever? What if it reverts back? It's a little bit more complicated than that, Antonio, but I appreciate the comment. What's up, Cookie de Chocolata? Chad Donner Schwans, what's up? Brizology says Ink's doing well. Yeah, Ink's doing amazing. Everything's doing well. Hunter51, what are saying about eHEX now for its raising from the ashes? We'll get into that. Davis says Hex is better than eHEX. Anyone who likes paying more is effing stupid. 30% down from parity. What's up, Francis? Ash says eHEX will always exist inherently on a flawed network with expletive congestion. That's just a fact. IDK, why people get so spun up about that. Yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, guys, that's it. What's up, RGS? I think we got everyone. But if we just look at the hex chart, not the eHEX chart yet, but I mean, it's just really been excellent. Got rid of all like the clutter with the lines and stuff. If we count from the bottom wick right here ish, we're up 137% to the top wick. So it's looking like this was a nice consolidation for hopefully the reversal, right? Just observing the charts, okay. And I'm not by no means a TA expert, but it's sort of been within this range, and this is the first time that it broke out of that range to the upside, and we want to see it clear these two, obviously, and we want to see it go way higher, but this is the first sign of maybe not DCAing at a loss, for the first time. And for the first time, people that have been around in dollar cost averaging get to finally realize some profits, which is really refreshing. If you look at the broader market, Bitcoin has broke above 30,000. So like 30,000 to Bitcoin is like the 1 penny to hex, and it seems like it's staying above it. And it seemed like it had a healthy consolidation since the last rejection, and now maybe it's got enough to sustain levels above that. So this is really good. Finally, we're getting some good price action, not even based off news, which maybe you could argue is better. Maybe that just means that purely off the markets that we've consolidated and found the floor, because often when it's just like a news thing, it just sort of just rapid pump to the upside, and then it's quickly sold down. But since there's been a healthy consolidation, no news, it's a really good sign. It's a really good sign that maybe we could sustain above a penny, but we have no idea. If you look at the broader crypto market also, and what Bitcoin's doing relative to what it's done before, there's nothing unusual. Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. It's hit the bottom around a year after the top. It's consolidating. Its dominance relative to the altcoin market is going up. I mean, that's just really good signs. It's really good signs. Things are looking very optimistic. And for the first time, it's not just in Bitcoin, but it's where we are. Seeing how vibrant the community is also indicative of future success. I think you can't say that about pretty much any altcoin except for any crypto coin except for Bitcoin. So what do you have to do? I mean, I don't think the price is going to run away anytime soon. Like, you have to back up the truck because it's about to go to 10 cents and then all-time highs. I don't think so. But I think the bottom could be confirmed, and this is just an excellent place to dollar cost average. I've been very, very happy that I've been averaging throughout this consolidation period, and I'm actually not even buying right now because I just want to enjoy being in some profits. I just want to enjoy seeing myself in some profits, and if I put in like a serious buy here and it flushes back down, which happens a lot, whatever, it's not going to feel as good. So I want to withhold from the buy. But if you haven't been buying throughout this period, I mean, maybe consider doing it now. At least starting to dollar cost average. But time is on our side, right? That's what Benjamin Cowan says. That's the Benjamin Cowan line. Time is on our sides. We don't have to rush. We don't have to start looking at the real estate markets to see where we're gonna relocate, and looking at the going car shopping, window shopping. I don't think the time for that is just yet. I think right now is the time to get to work and continue accumulating. This is my opinion, not financial advice, and that's what I'm doing. I actually start my job this Monday. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Congratulations, everybody. Like, big congratulations. You know, if you've been in it this far. PLS also looks excellent. You know, it's up considerably. PLSX, it's not even at a red candle now. So shout out to you. Shout out to you if you've been accumulating this entire time. If you didn't, and that's why, yeah, that's why you need to be consistent also. Like anybody that wasn't accumulating the big three, right? Anyone that wasn't accumulating the big three during the meme coin season and instead was accumulating meme coins, they're in the negative, right? So that's why you just got to stick to your guns. You can't change it up, and we'll see how that applies to eHEX. But that's your charts right there. Compton says eHEX was dead, huh? Okay, we'll get into that. What's up? Metastang is a patron. Big shout out to you. Big shout out, Mike Go, patron. Good morning. Jeremy Shepard says, why is there a difference in T-share price from pHEX to eHEX? Because the price depends on the stake, the stakers, you know? In stakes ending, the more stakes end, the higher the T-share rate. But also, if you're talking about the US dollar price, the difference is because there's a price difference. It's complicated. Whatever. Okay, so that's the charts. Then we could look at this was big news also. If you look at gopulse.com, 500 billion pulsex were burnt. I think K4K tweeted about this. He's a big pulsex guy. He even talked about I think it's the buy and burn wallet is the second or third largest SAC wallet already, and that's only growing. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And INC $1.23. So shout out to the INC and shout out to the farmers. But yeah, you guys all know my opinion on that. Yeah, and then let's go to Hex daily stats. Let's take a look at the change in current holders, change in current stakers. Change in current holders 107 today, yesterday 73, 67, 223 4 days ago. That's incredible. Change in stakers, we got 49. Change in current stakers, 21 yesterday, all positive. Let's see eHEX. Oh wow. Despite you know the big run up, there's no significant change there's decrease in people staking. But holders, oh my gosh, 613 holders. Wow, that's incredible. Not gonna lie. 211 yesterday, 154. This is the first time that it's been beating Hex on Pulse Chain in current holders. The question is whether or not it's going to self-sustain. So yeah, that's some nice stuff. But everything's healthy. Honestly, if there's one way really to summarize how things are going, it's really going according to how it was expected to be going. As far as Bitcoin and as far as Hex, sort of. Hex, you had the SEC curveball, and that gave a nice nosedive. But since it looks like the SEC thing's priced in, so hoping there's no more curveballs. There's only positive news, and that could really confirm this bottom, and that could get us headed up higher. But yeah, we got a month, and it's 28th of November is the pre-trial. See what happens there. We'll see if it even goes to trial. That's a big question people are asking. So it's 35 more days, a little bit over a month. So that's as far as the news, but looks healthy. And I hope your productivity is increasing, so you can continue to dollar cost average if that's what you so choose, and that's certainly the case with me. This is where this is really where people make it. It's sort of in this period of time, hopefully. But things could not go according to the halving schedule. According to the typical 4-year cycle, it could break. But I don't see, it's been going according to it, so I don't see why it won't continue to. I know people talk about interest rates. Maybe that's like for another stream, but I don't think interest rates are that significant of an indicator at this point, just because it's already baked into the cake. The market is forward thinking. Everybody, you're not ahead of the game. I think the time where interest rates mattered and should have been taken into account very heavily was when it was unclear whether or not they'd raise interest rates and whether they'd sustain these high interest rates. But I don't know. Things are pretty much, I think if you wait till, I think that probably 2024 is going to be very bullish based on the fact that interest rates are going to be going down in 2025. I think that if you wait till they're actually lowered, you're probably going to miss the opportunity. As seen in 2023, it was a great year so far, is a great year for stocks, and we've had the highest interest rates in a very long time, about 20 years. So if you were in stocks during the highest, so it wasn't the high interest rates, it was a sudden change of Fed policy. That's really what triggered it. And I think the imminent sudden change in Fed policy would probably be towards a more dovish approach. So I'm not really so worried about interest rates. I'm not so worried about inflation. I think it's baked into the cake. I'm very bullish on 2024. I think it's going to be very good for crypto. That's really what's going on. If things break, they break. It is what it is. You shouldn't be invested more than you could afford to lose anyway, okay? But yeah, I guess before we get into the eHEX thing, we could take a look at what you guys are saying real quick. See, people aren't happy about Brandon B. That's a shame. I like Brandon B. Moneyman says he blocked you on Twitter. He said he never blocks people. He's a fraud. I don't know. What'd you do? Were you disrespectful? Ash says we were almost at 30,000 hex per T-share on both chains. 140,000 hex per T-share. That's 3 halvings basically at that point. So far, we've had 2. Or how about 100K hex per T-share eventually? Yeah, it'll be pretty crazy. Started at 10,000 per T-share. Ash says 1 in 6 chance of a negative year for 2024 stock markets. Election years have been primarily positive gains, other than 4 out of 24. I like those odds. I like them too. Yeah, you just got to go long. Market goes up. You got to pick something and forget about the timing. That's just how it is. Yeah. So let's get to the main story, and we're going to be doing a more in-depth dive at 2:30 on the RH Max channel. So let me actually pull that up for you guys, so you guys could actually click the reminder. Okay, you guys could click the reminder and jump in the stream, show up, support your guy. But right here is the link. Okay. So this is the RH Max stream that will be going on today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Click the link right now and hit the like button and drop something in the chat. Okay, get that algorithm going, guys. But that's going to be a little bit more of an in-depth look at Hex on Ethereum versus Pulse Chain. So just get in there. How come I don't see anyone in the chat? Get in the chat right now. say what's up. But see, there's Davis. Davis is in there. Davis, did you hit the like button also? Big shout out to Davis. Okay, let's. All right, yeah, guys, smash that like button. But let's take a look at the eHEX chart. I mean, look at this. Look at this run up. Let's say from like the low, grab our ruler. Say right here. I mean, that's a 300% increase. It's a 300% increase. So it's maybe more than doubled what Hex on Pulse Chain did over the past few days. So that's something that everyone's talking about. And that's something that a lot of people on Twitter, many have blocked me, many have not, but they've been talking about, like, look, eHEX is not dead. So I was wrong the whole time. Here's the first thing to consider. It's like you're looking at first of all, despite this, Hex on Pulse Chain is still worth more, you know? So since that debate with Johnny Chaos, Hex on Pulse Chain was, I think it was 1.2 to 1. It's 1.4 to 1 still, despite this run up. So that's like the first thing to consider. Like, it hasn't even hit 1 to 1. It hasn't even hit 1.2 to 1, which was the ratio when I first said that I'm not going to be buying Hex on Pulse Chain. So that's like the first thing to consider. Second, considerably less liquidity. So I think that's why you're seeing this massive run up, because there's low liquidity. So there's higher volatility. But low liquidity pumps are, generally speaking, not as sustainable. But I think the main thing is also reflexivity, because it's gone down so much more, so much faster. That finally, when there's a pump to the upside, it's going to be more significant. But it's not erasing the losses incurred if you trade it over, even when it was at like 1 to 1, whatever. I mean, it's got to get to 1 to 1 to really erase those losses. In any case, I mean, I gave a specific set of reasons why I believe that Hex on Pulse Chain is the better Hex. And everything that I said really still holds true today. And it's with that information that, you know, I'm going to approach the way I invest moving forward. So, I mean, it is what it is. I've never said that Hex on Ethereum is going to die, or I never said that it has to die. What I have said is that risk reward comparison to Hex on Pulse Chain or PLS token, probably even PLSX, it's not a viable option. It's not a good option. And that really is what it is. And perhaps like the way I approached it was a little bit provocative. And to be fair, like, people, like, it's a two-way street. Like, people have been maybe a little provocative towards me, but it was the wrong way to go about it. There's no doubt about it. But I stand by everything that I said from a factual perspective. You look at the change in current holders, it's increasing significantly more on Pulse Chain. So there's more new onboards. That's changing current holders. So that's new onboards or new wallets, but many of them are new onboards. And then changing current stakers, right? I mean, staking is one of the most important aspects of Hex. It's what it was built for. Staking, delaying gratification. That's really the assurance that the network will continue over a long period of time. Hex on Ethereum is losing stakers pretty much every day, even despite this nice little bounce it's gotten. And Hex on Pulse Chain is gaining stakers every day, double-digit gains, 50, 60, 70, 100, whatever, in a bear market. I mean, that's really what tells you the future of the chain. Now, so it's the changing current holders, changing current stakers. So I think you're just better off holding Hex on Pulse Chain. I mean, Hex on Pulse Chain was made for a reason, because it's inaffordable to transact on Ethereum during bull markets, especially, and it's inaffordable to stake during bull markets. So it's just a better product. That is what it is. And I stand by that. I mean, we're looking at, and the ratios have reflected it, and it still is reflected of that, even though it's closed a little bit lately. Over the past couple months, it's gone as high as 3-1, and obviously I haven't been bragging about it. I choose not to, and even if the ratio widens again, which I think it will, I'm not going to go about it that way. I mean, this is my opinion, and it is what it is, and everybody knows that. There's no point in being provocative, being divisive. I think, but I do think that it's important as an investor to stand by your thesis. Now, could Hex on Ethereum outperform Hex on Pulse Chain? Is it possible? Is it possible maybe we get 3-1 eHEX to pHEX? So what I'd say about that is I'd say I never say never in crypto, because in crypto, things that shouldn't happen very often happen. Stupid things happen. For example, Ethereum Classic, which has no smart contracts, which has pretty much been rendered obsolete as far as development. It did nearly as well as Ethereum last bull market, although Ethereum did a little bit better. You had meme coins, Dogecoin, coins that were created as a joke that did incredibly well. But if your investment approach, in my opinion, is based on, stupid things happening, that's not really so conducive to being a successful investor, because what we focus in on are the exceptions, the coins that have done extraordinarily well, even though they weren't supposed to. It's like, yeah, there are exceptions, but for every exception, there are far more that pretty much live up to the expectations and don't perform well. So I think maybe eHEX could do okay, especially if everything else does well. It's possible, but it's also possible that it could go to zero. A lot of things people were saying about eHEX just weren't true. Like, people's reasoning for parity was an OA forced parity, or Richard wouldn't, buy it up. None of those things happened. And Richard himself even said it looks like people have chosen Hex on Pulse Chain as the premier store of value. So nothing that anybody said about Hex on Pulse Chain, about Hex on Ethereum, nothing that anyone said about eHEX, has come to fruition. And pretty much everything that people have been saying about Hex on Pulse Chain has come to fruition. So that would lead me to say that the only reason why the gap is even closing now is just low liquidity, reflexivity, irrational things happen. I don't want to bet on that. There is the possibility, especially when the bull market comes, that eHEX has a far greater chance of going to zero. I could see a scenario where eHEX goes to zero and everything else does well. I can't see a scenario where eHEX does very well and everything else goes to zero. So which way? I mean, especially for the retail investor, who doesn't have a lot of money and can't really dabble in various projects, it doesn't really make sense from a risk reward perspective to go with Hex on Ethereum. But that's my opinion. Everyone else has their own opinion, and we could agree to disagree. That's really how I see it. And I don't want to see anyone lose all their money. Like, I don't want to see eHEX go to zero. If eHEX does a parity, that's fine. Like, I don't want to make it about that. I don't want to make it about me being right. It's just about people doing well. So if it happens, I'm happy. Okay. I'm happy for anybody that's, anybody that's invested heavily in eHEX and stuff like that, I just, from a risk reward perspective, it makes absolutely no sense at all to go with eHEX. And it's funny how like people on Twitter are like, I haven't been hearing the end of it, and it's still 1.4 to 1. It's still Hex on Pulse Chain is at a 40% premium, and like people are saying that, like people that followed me are wrecked. Like, really? No, they're doing pretty well right now if they've been dollar cost averaging. You know, it's like I win. You know, if Hex does well, I win. If Pulse Chain does well, I win. If I'm an eHEX and Pulse Chain does well, maybe not. But let's just not forget about why Pulse Chain was invented, and let's not forget about how unaffordable it was for staking and transacting your eHEX. And I like to stake. Okay, I think staking is one of the big value propositions in Hex. So it's not really a viable option on Ethereum, and we're seeing it on chain. We're seeing people are emergency end staking, or people are not making new stakes. People are only ending stakes. So that's a good indicator, and I'm going to stick with that. As long as this ecosystem does well, I'll do well, and I hope everybody else does well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, and I don't want this to sort of overshadow the great price performance that's been happening over the past couple of days. I mean, so yeah, pat yourself on the back if you're in the green, if you've been dollar cost averaging. That's all I really have to say about it. We'll go further in depth today at 2:35 p.m. on the RH Max show. Okay, that's where we could delve further in depth into the whole eHEX pHEX situation, and my opinion and where I think things are going to go. I think it'll be really fun. So be sure to check out the RH Max channel today at 2:35 p.m. Link is in the chat. Okay, 64 people watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any questions, comments, now's the time. I'll read them. But that's really it. Congratulations. And congratulations to people even that have been investing in eHEX. I'm very happy for you, okay? I would not be happy if eHEX goes to zero and you guys lose your money. I wouldn't be happy about that. I don't want to see people lose their money. I want to see people do well. And that's why I've been very vocal on the whole situation. But whatever. It is what it is. Monorama, welcome to the stream. Hope you subscribe. So is it best as I unstake to move all eHEX across a bridge? You're basically saying, is it best to unstake on Ethereum and trade it for pHEX? That's everybody's own individual decision. I've traded a lot of my eHEX that was liquid for Pulse and pHEX. Okay, I have done that with liquid eHEX, but as far as and it's worked out very well, and it's still worked out very well. But as far as like staked, I haven't emergency end staked any, like, except for like very like ones that were very close to maturity. Most of my eHEX stakes are still there, and I'm hoping that they'll be worth something, but I'm not counting on it. And they've all been copied over to Pulse Chain, and I'm gonna be able to unstake there for very cheap, and it'll be probably worth more. So it's everyone. I mean, it's everyone's own individual decision. And I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. So, but especially if you're talking about big stakes and long stakes, you have to consider if you emergency end stake them, you're not going to get back most of the principal anyway. So they've been copied over, and I would say just let it ride, in my opinion. And that's what I'm doing. So Yeah, people would make fun of me if eHEX does well, but I will do well if eHEX does well. I think if you're making new 5555 stakes on Ethereum, I mean, say a Hail Mary. But yeah, that's what I'd say. And like another thing that's preventing big money from coming on to eHEX is just it's not even on Uniswap. You know, you can't even buy it there anymore. You got to either buy it on pHEX, which implies that you're already on Pulse Chain. So, you know, you'd have to bridge it back to stake and pay a ton of gas fees. Or you'd have to buy it on like these fringe websites that like most mainstream investors don't know about, like the ICOSA front end for Uniswap. That's just another barrier to entry as far as like new money coming in and stuff. So I think new money is going to drift towards Pulse Chain, especially if like Pulse Chain becomes you know, the story, a big thing this coming bull market, in the way that, you know, Solana has gotten very like noteworthy. If like Pulse Chain gets that like notoriety that Solana got or Polygon got, people are going to want to buy Hex on Pulse Chain. I mean, that's just how it is. You know, it just, from a risk reward standpoint, it's still, to me, absurd. And I don't want to bet on exceptions happening. That's really what it comes down to. Chris A, what's up? Ash is saying not yet, to just transact for even eHEX on Pulse Chain. It's true. If I were buying eHEX, I'd buy it on Pulse Chain. Get to buy more, I wouldn't have to pay the hefty gas fee. So, yeah. What's up, Egg the Emaciated? Excuse me. NG says, why so black and white? Both have pros and cons. I can't think of a pro for eHEX. I mean, what's a pro? What's really an advantage that eHEX has over Hex? I don't know. That's really the problem that I face, is that I don't see any pro in buying, as an investor, in buying eHEX. Oh yeah, and there's the BankX thing. Forgot to mention that. So Mr. Chuck says, have BankX sold any of their eHEX on this pump? I don't know about on this pump. Before this pump, they're 10% sold. And doesn't look like they're stopping. Yeah, so that's like another reason why I would not be buying eHEX personally. Not saying it's going to zero. It could do something, but I'm just not buying it. Gerald, the goalie, says, any predictions for Pulse Chain, Hex, pHEX, and Bull Run? Well, I made predictions. If you search my predictions, you could probably find it, but that was not factoring in the SEC thing, so maybe you could change it a little bit. I think if you're here now, in my opinion, not financial advice, this is just my opinion, I think if you're here now and you're dollar cost averaging, I think you're going to do very well. I think you'll be very happy. But I don't know. It's my opinion, not financial advice, of course. But yeah, that's as far as I'd say. I think you'll be pleased. In my opinion, not financial advice. Yeah, guys, 63 people watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to turn on your notification for the RH Max stream today at 2:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Ryan says a pro would be the price pump with eHEX, as it has much lower liquidity. Okay. Well, if enough people get on board, the liquidity will be higher. But it's probably not going to happen. The liquidity's only been going down, and liquidity goes to the downside also, as we've been seeing until now, and as we see with the ratios now. So, and it's like we're not looking at previous pumps. You know, I mean, we have to be looking at what we think future pumps are going to look like, and every indicator would tell me that the pumps on Pulse Chain are going to be higher, right? So that's just how I see it. Robert Rotandi said, you should encourage both E and pHEX. They are the same product. It is the community that you're promoting. That's not true. It's not the same product. Brandon Collins says, I have both eHEX and pHEX. Well, good for you. Me too. Me too. But I haven't been purchasing eHEX. Ryan buys pHEX primarily. Cool. All right. Yeah, guys. Just a reminder, RH Max channel today at 2:35 p.m. Eastern. Guys, click the link, putting it up on the screen and in the chat. Click the link, get in the chat, and hit the like button and turn on the notification. Okay, guys? What's up, Crypto Bigfoot? Robert Rotundi says, please explain the difference in the products. Code is the same. Have you, the code is the same, but they're built on different chains. It's like real estate. You have two houses. They look exactly the same. One is in Times Square, and one of them is in Mobile, Alabama. Are they the same? Should you buy both, or should you buy the cheaper one? Like, no, it's not the same. Location. Okay? You can't stake. You know, you could stake, but it's extremely costly to stake, extremely costly to transact. It also splits buy pressure. Probably the best way to onboard is a good chart, and having so much buy pressure on Ethereum instead of Pulse Chain is taking away from the chart reaching its peak potential, right? So that's negative. That'll have a negative effect on the marketing and onboarding. So it's not the same. I'm sorry. ETH gas has never been this low. It's not extremely well because no one's using ETH right now. I mean, you want to stake for 2 days, or you want to stake for 2 years, right? As the chain activity increases, as adoption increases, as price increases for Ethereum, which it all is projected to happen, the gas fees will increase. Okay. And Vitalik doesn't care. He definitely doesn't care about this community. And nobody in Ethereum really cares. So it's sort of you're on your own. You don't control your destiny. You're on the chain of the person who found Hex. You know, like, it's a no-brainer. In terms of risk reward, it's a no-brainer. Okay. And if that's the case, like, why would maybe Pulse Chain shouldn't have been invented, right? Like, maybe we should have just stayed on Ethereum, right? I mean, when you fork a chain to preserve the use case of your crypto, that's a drastic measure, and that only happens when it's absolutely necessary. So there were problems with Ethereum that were so drastic that forced this to happen, which means that probably not a good idea to stay on Ethereum. Richard Hart just tweeted. Feel so sorry for those that ignored my advice to not pick up pennies in front of freight trains. I feel sorry for those that bought the top, even though I called the top. I feel sorry for those that take personal responsibility for their own mistakes. I'm sorry, for those that take no personal responsibility for their own mistakes. Ignorance is expensive. There you go. Richard Hart there for you. Owns the world's largest diamond. Called the top on the day. And notice also he's showing the hex on pulse chain chart. That doesn't make a difference. Here's what it is. But yeah, that's it for you. All right, guys. That's it for today's stream. Be sure to watch me on the RH Max channel today at 2:35 p.m. Eastern. So that's in about less than 2 hours, about an hour 40. So yeah, guys, be sure to tune in. I'll see you guys there. We'll delve deeper in probably to the eHEX pHEX thing. And I will be back maybe tomorrow at 12 p.m. Like, subscribe, join the Patreon, click the bell notification, and see you at 2:35 on RH Max.